What's going on, folks? Today we're going to be talking about the Tales of Aeternum and Legends of Aeternum videos that they've been putting out on the official YouTube page for New World. We're going to go ahead and start with the Angry Earth video, and what I'm going to do is talk about a couple details that come from the video itself, and then talk about some other things I learned over the past couple of weeks while searching for some lore. Their birthplace is said to be an eating grove, but Reekwater is more of a grave to the Angry Earth. This also reminds me of a couple lore pages about how they migrate from place to place during different seasons, but this video says that they've been spotted traveling to the eternal pools to re-emerge themselves with the earth itself when their cycle is done. When they take on a more humanoid form, this is what's called the Dryad, and we know that they are the noble protectors. We then have William Heron, who talks a little bit about the Ancients. The Ancients are known as a very old civilization that existed long before any humans set foot on these shores. Where they came from, they do not know. But I have seen a very interesting lore page that seems to suggest that they may even predate some of the oldest civilizations such as the Greeks and Egyptians, maybe even older than the Indus and Mesopotamians, that they swam and existed in the void between all things, which is an interesting choice of words given the corruption's relation to the void, but that they roam freely across the land, sky, and even the seas of all worlds and all times, meaning that might also give further merit to the whole time-shifting MMO quote we talked about. William Heron states that there are clues in the ruins of the ancient structures that seems to suggest there was a major conflict at some point during the reign of the ancients, but that they probably did not emerge victorious. It's also theorized that the ancient guardians were the foot soldiers, but also we know, probably servants of the ancients and are not the real ones themselves. We also talked about a zone that might be coming after Brimstone Sands that is classified as the area the most powerful ancients may have retreated to, and they might become the next big villain in the future. There's also a really interesting set of lore pages that come from the Lazarus expedition. It talks about how humans were actually led through the expedition by seemingly the ancients themselves, and it suggests that the humans were able to offer themselves in servitude to them and actually be transformed at the Eternal Well. It makes sense, but I thought this was extremely interesting the first time I saw it. And skipping to the Legends of Aeternum, we got the second episode of that. It gives us a brief showcase of some of the enemies you'll come across in Aeternum, as well as a base description of the dangers we face. I did see some people wondering if this mob type right here was brand new and a new Greatsword mob, but I don't believe this to be the case. I'm pretty sure this is just a variation of the Gate Guard Elite boss. The body looks slightly different, but it looks close enough to where this is probably just based off of the existing one. This mob also appears in the Corrupted Breaches depending on which one you do, and later on in the trailer it does show someone holding a sword in the two-handed position. I wish I could say 100% that this does look like a Greatsword tease, but it does look pretty similar to the one that was shown in this frame where the man is blocking an attack from the ogre. However, there have been quite a few teasers before about the Greatsword, and it was something that was already data mined, so either way I'm sure we'll end up seeing it at some point. If you want some more info, check out my old video on all the weapons that have been teased thus far. We then have the Tales of Aeternum for the Lost and the Corrupted. Let's start with the Lost. So a long time ago, these creatures were described as a result of experiencing a terrible or violent death on Aeternum. Sometimes we would classify these as the Drowned or the Withered. A while back, I was very curious if there were even separate factions in the Lost faction between the Undead Pirates and the Withered, and after reading a couple different questlines and lore pages during the previous testing phase, it seems I was correct. We also have the Haunted, but the pirates do in fact fight against the Withered in various parts of the story. We know of course that the Siren Queen's crew that was turned into undead pirates seem to act as their own entity, and that the region of Reekwater seems to be filled with just pirates instead of the Withered, but it's very interesting to see that these really are two separate groups in the faction of the Lost. Really want to see how this plays out. And then we have the Corrupted. So even though there's a lot of mystery to them, we still know quite a bit about the Corrupted so far. It's rumored that the Corrupted may be related to the Ancients' experimentation with Azoth, or it may have been linked to the inner evil in humanity. It's possible that the Corrupted may in fact not originate from this earth as theorized by the narrator. It would make sense considering they have portals that come from who knows where, and we still haven't seen the Heretic get revealed in game yet, who is the same person that corrupted Isabella and initially the Empress. I've always wondered if we would find out exactly what's on the other side of these. But in this video they do in fact confirm that Isabella is known as the Tempest and that the Corrupted has been rallying behind her. As we know, anybody can fall to the Corrupted. It's confirmed in multiple cases that living centuries on Aeternum as a regular human is entirely possible, but if you end up dying under terrible circumstances or eventually your so-called spark runs out, then you might easily become one of these other entities instead. And that's all we've got so far about the extra lore details. In the future, we'll probably dive more into the Soul Warden aspect of Aeternum, but for now, thanks so much for watching, have a wonderful night or day folks, and farewell.